What if Earth had rings like Saturn? This question comes from everyone who's ever seen a picture of Saturn and said, that, that should be us. So what if Earth had rings, like big, beautiful Saturn-style rings? Would we be able to see them? Would they make life better, worse? Would we get to launch Instagram-worthy rocket selfies every day? First off, let's assume the rings magically appear and don't destroy the planet in the process. That's not always a given. Saturn's rings are made mostly of ice and dust, and they stretch out hundreds of thousands of kilometers, but they're very, very thin. If we gave Earth the same setup, it would look awesome, but also change a lot more than just the view. Let's start with visibility. Could we actually see the rings? Yes, absolutely. In fact, if you're lucky enough to live near the equator, you'd get the best view. The rings would slice across the sky like a glowing arc, possibly visible even in the daytime. At night, they'd reflect moonlight and sunlight, casting strange shadows and glowing softly over cities and oceans. Now, imagine standing in New York. The rings stretch high above you, arcing from horizon to horizon. Meanwhile, someone in London would see them more edge-on, thinner, dimmer, but still dramatic. The poles? Sorry, ringless skies. It's like the northern lights, but instead of needing solar wind, you just need to live in Ecuador. Okay, that's the beautiful part. Now, let's talk chaos, because the rings would mess with everything. First, let's talk light. The rings would cast shadows on Earth, permanent ones. Depending on the season and time of day, huge areas might spend hours under ring shadow. That sounds cool, until you realize it would alter agriculture, mess with climate, and confuse a lot of animals, not to mention people trying to tan. Second, space junk. Earth already has a ring, made of old satellites and rocket parts. It's a terrible ring. If we had real Saturn-like rings, they'd be constantly threatened by collisions with our own garbage. One stray satellite could shatter part of the ring and send thousands of icy shards raining down at orbital velocity. So, stylish and deadly. But let's not stop there. What if the rings weren't just for show? What if we built cities near the equator specifically for ring tourism? Imagine hotel rooms with floor-to-ceiling windows facing the rings, or schools that cancel classes not for snow days, but for ring eclipse days. But wait, the moon. Oh no, Earth's moon is kind of a diva. It has a strong gravitational influence, and rings would not be happy about it. Depending on their composition and orbit, the moon could destabilize them over time, or vice versa. We might lose the moon, or the rings, or both. Or they crash into each other in a beautiful, terrifying ballet of destruction and frozen dust. Also, remember tides? Yeah, the rings affect gravity too, slightly, but add enough mass in the wrong place and Earth's wobble increases. That means seasons could become weirder, ice ages more frequent, and weather more chaotic. Somewhere out there, a penguin is panicking. But let's ignore science for a moment. Let's say everything works out. The rings are stable. The moon behaves. The satellites avoid getting vaporized. What does life look like? Well, we'd have ring festivals, ring holidays. Ring light selfies would no longer mean phone accessories. Cities would be redesigned around ring visibility. People would move for the view. Night photography would explode. Ring set would become a word. Poets would cry. And the first astronaut to take a spacewalk through Earth's rings would become an instant legend, assuming they weren't immediately shredded by ice chunks. In the end, Earth with rings would be mesmerizing, beautiful, terrifying, a constant reminder in the sky that the universe is more than just rock and dirt. It's ice, it's shadow, it's elegance. So, should we give Earth rings? Number? No, no, no. We'd ruin them within a week. But wow, what a week that would be.